Hi there. I thought I would test out this Facebook Live and see what it's all about. So I'm going to talk about something, and if anyone's out there and wants to respond or talk or ask questions or something, if they happen to see this happening, feel free, and we'll continue the conversation. But probably in the future, what I will do is actually have a topic and prepare it and invite people, and beforehand let people know that I'm doing this. That obviously would be a much better way to go if you want success. But this is a test, okay? But this is just a test. Just wanted to see how things look. And I look as scary as ever, so that's good. All right, so I was thinking that people, I was going to do a video or a podcast. I was going to ask people, are there things about yourself that you don't like? And if there are, and I'm kind of almost certain there are, it's at least one thing about every single person on the planet that they do something that they don't like, that they wish they didn't do. You know, that it's a behavior that they really don't admire and makes them feel ashamed or embarrassed, but it pops out here and there. I'm sure there's at least one thing you do that you don't like about yourself. And so the point is, why do you keep doing it? Yeah, you're probably really annoying people and irritating and pushing people away, and you know there's something you do, and it annoys them, and you don't stop. You just don't stop. Okay, and so why? Well, first of all, change is difficult. We're asking you to change a default mode, a default way of behaving, where someone says boo, and that triggers you to you get angry and defensive, or to get depressed or get anxious or whatever it might be. It's a default mode. You're on automatic pilot. You're not in the now. You're not paying attention. You're just reacting. And you're really not thinking. You're just reacting. Okay, so the key is, change is difficult. You got to be aware. You got to be vigilant over your thoughts, over what you're saying, over your body language, and pay attention to what you're putting out there. And if you see you're annoying people, then the question is, yes, it's difficult to change. It's difficult to stop a bad behavior, but you got to start somewhere. So somewhere along the line, when you're in the bad behavior, you try to stop it. You try to stop it. Say, hey, I'm sorry. And you try to stop it. And then sooner or later, you get better and better at not even starting it, not even saying the thing that irritates people. But the point is, why don't you do it? Well, okay, first of all, change is difficult. But secondly, motivation. You're not, people don't change because as much as they may say they're motivated, they're not actually 100% motivated for the change. They're ambivalent. Okay, they're resistant to the change that they know is in their best interest. Okay, so stubbornness, ego, they hang on to a bad behavior, and they resist change, but they're only shooting themselves in the foot. So motivation. If there's something you're doing that you don't like and you keep doing it, ask yourself, why are you doing it? And it could be that you're doing it out of some passive aggressive thing, or it could be that, you get that's probably it. Now that I think about it, you're probably getting some kind of perverse pleasure out of knowing that you're pissing someone off. But in the long run, in the short run, yeah, your ego gets a treat. In the long run, you're damaging the relationship, pushing people away that you want to be close to you. And that's the key so often. I mean, people, God, in my practice, I see so many marriages fail. And then I see a lot of marriages who don't fail, but they fail. You know what I mean? Like they don't divorce, but they're still failed marriages because these people are unhappy and bitter and resentful. And, and they don't stop playing that game. Okay, so that's the key. If you have a marriage and you're fighting a lot and you don't get along and your partner's kind of pissing you off a lot, if you decide to stay in the marriage, why don't you try to figure out a way to get along? And that starts with you, by the way. Yeah, your wife or husband may be doing stuff that's really annoying. They may be acting out. They may be doing all sorts of crap. They may be passive aggressive. But ultimately, change in the world, change in your partner, change in you starts with you. It actually starts with you. Being a role model of right action, staying calm, right? And even though your partner may want to derail you because they're not changing yet, they're not enlightened like you are trying to be, it doesn't matter. You stay calm. You are the conductor of the conversation. You're in control. Now, I don't mean control that a lot of people do. A lot of people are into petty control. control just to show that, that they have the power, but no, I'm talking about controlling an event in the sense that letting people be the best that they can be, by you not participating in arguing, fighting, etc. But my point is, if you want to change, if you're going to stay in a relationship, you need to change. If you want to change and need to change, you got to be motivated. What's your motivation? Okay, I'd like to live a long time with this person, and I'd like it to be happy and pleasant. That's my motivation. I'd like her not to stab me in the neck one night while I'm sleeping. Yeah, that'd be nice. Remember the Phil Harmon, that Saturday Night Live, very, very popular, funny comic guy, right? Wife got annoyed and shot themselves both one night. Look, if you want your relationship to work, work it. You got to work it. What does that mean? Try to be selfless. Okay? Try to not keep score of who did what. Try to be generous and selfless and loving and considerate. And if you know something pisses somebody off, stop doing it. Okay? This isn't actually tricky stuff. It's like the ABC of getting along with people, but we don't do it. We don't practice it. And that's the thing. If you want to nurture a relationship, you have a relationship that you say you cherish, then cherish it. Then nurture it. Then ask your partner, what's going on? How you doing? How you feeling? Is there something I can do for you? Rather than sitting around with a dark cloud over your head grumbling because, where are my slippers? There are, a bond between a couple, between a partner, two people is really wonderful. Or it can be like a living nightmare, full of like lies and deceit and, it's a bunch of crap. It's kind of like our government. Everyone hates each other and shames each other and attacks each other and nothing gets done. And we don't go forward and there is no progress. Okay, so as you can see, I've got no script. I'm rambling. I see I got some people here. And if anyone wants to toss in a question of some sort that might be related to this, feel free. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm having fun. I'm having fun here. I hope I'm being helpful. About relationships, about change. That's what we were originally talking about, not relationships, but change. Like, why do you do things that self-destructive things, self-sabotaging things? You should exercise. You should diet. Maybe you shouldn't eat meat, and you do. You do all of them. Guilty pleasures, right? In the moment, we're enjoying it. Too bad it's all you don't do this stuff. It's going to shorten your lifespan and make your old age fairly unpleasant. Mind, body, spirit, emotionally, etc. So there are things we should do, we don't do. There are things we're doing a lot, and we need to stop doing, right? Like way too much TV, way too much video games, way too much comic books or whatever. Or soap operas, way too much recreation. But recreation that is like to some degree mindless and brainless. Like everything, technology, is a double-edged sword. You can use it to grow and enlighten and recreate and enjoy and laugh and cry. But it can also, technology can be used to enslave us. We are being enslaved by our technology now, by our TV, our networks, our internet, our social media. We're really being enslaved, and people don't realize that all of us, we the people, are actually incredible pawns. I'm getting political now. We're incredible pawns in this whole process. If you're a Trumpster, you're a pawn. If you're whatever, a Clintoner or a Sanders or Democrat, liberal, progressive, whatever, we're all pawns. Okay, actually, we don't know any idea what's going on. The games that these people are playing, that the dark, deep state is playing, is unbelievable, murky and dark. There are no good guys. We're the good guys. We the people. Once you start electing those people, it's corrupt city. Okay, I know. I'm going off point here. But my point in a way is, look, one thing you can do to change is stop listening to everything and start thinking for yourself and start getting real news, not the fake news from everywhere. It's everywhere. I can't trust anything anymore. It's really a drag. trust but verify everything you read, no matter what your source is. The agenda these days is so severe to like topple Trump and eliminate him by any means necessary that there's no telling what is true anymore. So you got to pay attention. You got to pay attention. But if you're doing too much TV, too much binge TV, too much binge videos, too much binge eating, too much binge anything, it's out of balance. Moderation. You know, when you eat too much sugar, you get irritable, you get funky, you get angry, you get a personality change. Same thing as drinking too much alcohol, personality change, doing too much drugs. Guess what? Even doing too many prescribed medications will make you personality change, behavioral changes, etc. You got to pay attention to everything you're putting in your body, everything you're putting in your mind, everything you're putting in your heart. If we really want to change the relationships, change our lives, make it much more successful, the law of attraction and abundance, want to make everything better, it always comes down to get your own life in order. Make a list. Okay, I'm seeing a question here. Make a list of all the things that you believe will make you better, all the things you want to do that you believe will make you better, wiser, happier, healthier, right? Spiritually, emotionally, physically, everything. Make a list. Well, okay, yeah, I can lose 10 pounds. Okay, maybe I should, look into vegan, plant-based diets. Okay, I definitely should cut down on the milkshakes and the big gulps. That's for sure. Right? Maybe I should walk 20 minutes 3 times a week. Maybe I should do other workouts and things. Right? Maybe I should read a book. Yeah, they're in museums called libraries. I think you can still get them. No, I mean, right. It's big business online to download everything. You got no excuse for not reading in a way because you don't have to read anymore. You can just do an audio thing in your car or anywhere, and and listen to podcasts. But you can read books by listening. But okay, make a list of all the things that you want to do, and then start taking steps to do them. Prioritize what matters most. The thing that matters most, that everything else may depend upon, do that first. Like with the mother in the airplane, you don't give the baby the air while you suffocate. You take the air first, then you give the baby the air. Well, do the thing that's really important that will keep you sustainable. Like if you're about to lose your job, seal the deal, seal the job, get another job, lock that down, then look for a better job and more pay. But prioritize your bucket list, that we're going to do now, not when you're about to drop dead, and start doing it. Prioritize what really needs to be done first, and start planning and organizing and doing. Baby steps is fine, but just do. And you might not want to brag about what you're doing. Some people think, well, if I tell everyone that I'm going to lose 20 pounds, then that forces me to lose 20 pounds because I've got all this peer pressure. That may work. That may work. I think, I think just keep it to yourself. If you want to tell a few people what you're up to, fine. But I say keep it to yourself because there's a lot of people out there who may say they're your friends, who may say they love you, who may be family, who may be real proud of you that you want to lose 20 pounds, but they should lose 20 pounds too. You start losing 20 pounds, they're going to be mighty uncomfortable and feel bad and feel that you may abandon them. So they're going to want to derail you from your diet because they prefer to keep you fat. So you see what I'm saying? This is true in any change you might want to make. Friends, family, they get jealous. They get insecure. They get threatened, and they may do stuff to derail you. So I don't tell people. If I'm working on something that matters to me a lot, I actually don't tell people. I don't need their support, their rah-rah. What I need is not to be derailed by their inner critics, by their negativity. I got enough inner critic negativity of my own. I don't need to bring it on from everybody else. You got to neutralize negativity all along the way. Okay, so I've got a question here. Hi, I've cared for someone for a year and he's still not very nice to me. Don't know what to do. I really like him. Okay. Well, okay. First of all, I got to say that, I'm not being a doctor here. Okay. I'm not telling you what to do. So don't, I'm making suggestions based on generalizations of my experience and practice and wisdom. about what I think might be a good strategy or approach. But you can't just say, well, Jacobson said so, Dr. Walter said so, and like, you know, he's a professional and he went to college for a lot of years, so I'm just going to do whatever he says. He's got to be right. No, you got to think for yourself. Remember, trust but verify. Think for yourself. Okay, so it doesn't matter what Jacobson says. You got to think for yourself. I could be wrong. It could happen. It's been a while. No, I'm just kidding. But, you know, you've got to don't trust anybody, including doctors. You know, so whatever I tell you is a reasonable approach. You need to, like, you know, if there are people you trust, discuss it with them. If you have a mentor or life coach, discuss it with them. If you have a therapist, discuss it with them. Discuss it with yourself when you're calm and relaxed and comfortable. Ask yourself, does Jacobson's like suggestion make sense? And then you are the prime mover and you decide to do what you're going to do. Okay. I'm just a coach. I'm just someone who has a lot of experience and knowledge and a certain amount of wisdom, but you know, you got to decide for yourself and take ownership and responsibility for what you want to do. So, okay. So I've cared for someone for a year and he's still not very nice to me. Don't know what to do. I really like him. Okay. So the first thing I think about is boundaries. Okay. The first thing I think is, okay, yeah. The way you decide to stay with somebody or not, in my opinion, depends upon establishing boundaries, setting boundaries, and see if they, and then you see if they respect them or not. If they respect them, then you've got a relationship. If they don't respect them, you can count on that happening a lot, and you're never going to be satisfied, and you're never going to be happy. And no matter how much you like them, you know, they're going to make your life miserable. Okay. So in this case, in my opinion, this is just an opinion. It's just a thought, food for thought. You say to the guy, you know, I really like you, but you treat me badly. You know, I don't like the way you treat me. I like you. I don't like the way you treat me. You treat me badly. You're abusive. You're unloving. You yell at me a lot. You got a angry voice a lot. You're petulant a lot. You're impatient with me. You know, you make me feel stupid. You call me names sometimes. It really makes me feel bad. It really makes me feel bad. It makes me feel that you don't really like me. I mean, whatever you need to say that comes from a sincere space, you say it, but then you have to add something else. And you don't add that something else, the stipulation, unless you're mean to follow through. You don't set a boundary unless you're mean to follow through. So you say, yeah, you know, I like you and I appreciate you and I want you in my life, but look, I'm not going to have someone in my life who's going to keep on walking all over me. I'm not a doormat. Okay, I'm not to be abused. I like myself enough that I'm willing to go away and maybe never find anyone else, but maybe I'll find someone else to love me, who will nurture me and respect me. So here's the deal. You know, you need to change. I know it can't happen overnight. You know, you're pretty used to behaving this way, but look, you need to start catching yourself. You need to start being nicer. You need to start being more loving. You need to stop all this, you know, name calling and shaming and guilting and all that other crap. And if you don't, I'm going to be out of here. Sooner or later, I'm going to go. And then maybe that's what you want. Fine. Good riddance. If it's not what you want, then a word to the wise, a warning to the wise. You need to get better at caring about me. Okay. So in answer to your question, yeah, you need to set the boundary. You need to set the boundary with the person. Now you like them. And guess what? That maybe I'm assuming this is a guy, and maybe the guy is, you know, he's still going to do the crap. He's not going to believe you, right? So he's going to test the boundary. You said you keep treating me like trash. I'm going to be out of here. You know, so let's say he tests the boundary, and you know, you need to go away. Okay, then you need to go away. You said if you trash me, I'm out of here. He trashes you, you need to go away. If you don't go away, if you don't leave the relationship and disengage, then he's never going to take you seriously. They're never going to take you seriously if you set a boundary and then ignore it and then throw it away. Now they're going to know that they can say anything. Sooner or later, they'll reel you back in that you're a sucker. You're a sucker for their game. So you know, it's painful. Yeah, you like the guy. You wish he would be like your knight in shining armor, but he's not going to be that. Okay. You got to face front. You got to recognize what's real with people, you know, and if you know what you know, that this guy has certain limitations and most likely he's not going to change. But if you set a boundary, you can see. Now, maybe he may slip a little bit. Maybe you can give him a little bit of room, but you know what I mean. If you see this guy's not changing, you get out. You get out. You go away. Now, maybe he'll call you up. and he'll say, you know what, I was a jerk. You know, I didn't take you seriously. I didn't believe you'd really do it. I'm really sorry. Maybe he'll really, you know, profusely apologize, and, you know, and you'll have something there. Most likely he's not going to come back, because that's not his mettle. You know, that's not his worth. That's not his validity or his value. You know, he really doesn't care about you. So look, there are people out there who are lonely and unhappy. There are people out there who would love to have a companion and a partner. So don't waste years of your life waiting for someone who's just going to mistreat you and abuse you and never give you the relationship that you want. All right. Yes. I just got a compliment about the file cabinets. Thank you, sir. Right. Okay. Anywhere else? Anyone else? Any other thoughts? Yeah, I'm going to move into babbling again if you don't come up with something. Okay. What? I am going to do this again, though, and I will inform people. What can I say? What can I tell you? Yeah. Did you see the eclipse today? I got to tell you, I didn't see the eclipse, and I'm heartbroken. No. Some people were posting on Facebook, and I don't mean to insult anybody, but people were posting these things of like little gray blobs and blurs and shadows and flashes of light. You know, I think if we were like in, 2000 BC and, sky dark, that would be impressive. But I really am kind of stunned at like how this became such like a universal event, like, like the millennium or something big, where, everything, the apocalypse was going to happen next Tuesday. But it really was funny because I was hearing people telling me that there were a lot of myths about this, that if you pick fruit that was on the tree during the eclipse, you're going to get cancer, or if you have sex, you're automatically going to have a baby. If you have sex during an eclipse, I mean, the superstition is pretty funny, but yeah, I guess I really shouldn't mock something that like the majority of the planet isn't, just really got off on. So, so much for that. Some of you folks should read some of these comments. Pretty funny. All right. Anyway, what else? I don't know. What? Hey, let's look on the bright side. We didn't blow anything up today. Okay, so it's a good day. And I guess that can kind of segue into this thought I had now about happiness. Happiness, all right? There is so much horror in the world today. There is so much pain and suffering. Turn on the TV, 12 people were blown up, 100 people were in a fire, 8 people were run over by a truck, 4 people were beheaded, a cat got stuck in a tree. I mean, there is terrible stuff. The climate is over. The icebergs are done. We're cooked. The rainforests are gone. People suck. Right? Most people are vicious and angry and evil, and all you got to do is go on the internet and say the sky is blue, and there'll be like 12 people who want to string you up and boycott your business. It's crazy out there. It's crazy out there. So what do you got? You got a choice. You can either suck in all this dead air and all this hate and, and pain and anger and grief and fear, or you can decide, you know what? I'm going to do the best I can, just to get through today, just to make the most of my life, just to kind of be happy. Yeah, you can be happy despite all the chaos and swirling all around. There are so many people who get up in the morning, the first thing they do is scowl at their, social media and start like posting, vicious things, from morning till night. We don't have to be that way. We can pick and choose what we want to stuff into our head, and we can pick and choose if we want to be happy or not. So even though the world may be blown up next Tuesday, we can be happy on Monday. You have a choice. And I actually am not being ridiculous about this, because most of us really have the ability to be happy day to day, moment to moment. But we're spending so much time worrying about like the bill that we got to pay next Tuesday, or, or what, like, what the girlfriend or the boyfriend said last Wednesday, or, who owes you like $12. Our mind is so stuffed with irrelevant facts and fantasies and feelings and fears that we don't have time to just rest and relax and stay calm and go, hey, you know what? I'm breathing. This is good. Yeah, let's have a party. Yeah, we got to lighten up. We got to be happier. You got to be happy day to day as much as possible. You got to laugh a lot. You need to laugh as much as possible and smile as much as possible. And guess what? Some of it may actually even rub off on other people, and that would be pretty cool. I just mention the word vegan, and you will feel the wrath of brainwashed people. Oh well, geez, I hope not. But look, feel free to eat whatever you want to eat, no question about it. And just if I were you, I'd stay away from corn dogs, but that's just me. But look, yeah, that's the thing. If you're whatever you are, whatever your belief is, if you're this or you're that, you're Fi, you're anti-Fi, you're Trump, you're anti-Trump, you're this, you're that, whatever you are, be a human being first. Okay? Yeah, we kind of forgot that part. Be a human being first. Treat others as you wish to be treated, with respect, with consideration, with generosity, with kindness, with compassion. Go out of your way to be nice to somebody rather than going out of your way to stick it to them. You think your world isn't good? You think your little life isn't happy and pleasant? It comes back to the very beginning of this conversation. What are you doing about it? Get your own house in order. Treat other people as you wish that you were treated. Right. Loving, love, compassion, forgiveness, acceptance, generosity. Right. Get out of your ego. Get out of your head. Get out of the competition. Get out of your scarcity idea that if other people have more, I'll have less. So therefore, I better steal everything I can from everybody else. Yeah. If you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, an Indian chief, a banker, a politician, an actor, whatever you want to be a human being first. Right. Be honest. Be real. Be authentic. Right. To thine own self be true. We don't have enough of this. That's what's so amazing to me about the media and about there's nobody spiritual getting out there on the evening news anywhere saying, hey, let's be human beings first. Then we could be Democrat or Republican, and then if we want to lynch people, okay, go ahead. Well, I think that's kind of not the way to go. But look, where are the leaders? Where's anybody? Where's any leader, spiritual, religious, anybody? As many people as possible get up there on the national and international stage and say, whatever you want to do in this world, be a human being first. Yeah. Yeah. All righty. I don't know. I think I should have something to eat. What? It's getting late. All right. Anything else? Mike Hagan is breathing. I'm happy to hear that. All right. Hey, folks. Hey, thanks for any of those of you guys who stuck it out, and appreciate it. And like I say, I'll be doing this again, and it'll probably be more organized, but you never know. If you have any suggestions or comments of what you'd like me to ramble about, just let me know. All right, people. See you later. Oh, yeah. Take care. Peace be with you.